Rain pelted the cracked pavement of Old District 12, a forgotten sector on the edge of the Terran-Zarath Alliance border. Neon signs flickered and guttered out above shuttered stalls, painting the night in broken glimmers of red and blue. Darren Locke tugged his jacket tighter around himself, muttering at the downpour. His shift at the shipyard had run late again, and all he wanted was warmth, silence, and sleep. Then he heard it, a sound no city rat or machine made, a soft whimper, high and trembling, carrying over the hiss of rain. He froze, scanning the alleyways. At first, nothing, just a drip of runoff and the rustle of refuse. But then he spotted her, curled up against a rusted cargo crate, shivering violently. Not human. Her skin glowed faintly violet under the neon glare, her silver-white hair plastered to her face, and her large eyes, too big for a child her size, stared at him with raw fear. A girl, alien, no more than 10 cycles old, if that. Darren's first instinct was to back away. Aliens in District 12 usually meant trouble. Smugglers. Runaways. Worse. The Alliance policed the borders with iron fists, and a human caught harboring an undocumented alien could vanish without trial. But then she whispered, voice quivering, Mother, I lost her. And something inside Darren cracked. He crouched low, raising his hands so she could see they were empty. Hey, easy. I'm not going to hurt you. What's your name? She hugged her knees tighter. Lyra. All right, Lyra. I'm Darren. You said you lost your mother? She nodded, tears mixing with the rain. We came through the port. Crowds pushed us. I fell. When I looked back, she was gone. They told me to stay hidden. Her accent was clipped, her words halting, but the fear was universal. Darren swallowed hard. He should call the patrols, wash his hands of this. One call, and Lyra would be someone else's problem. But those eyes, huge, luminous, and terrified, wouldn't let him. He extended a hand. Come on, let's find her together. She hesitated, trembling, before slipping her small, cold fingers into his. Finding one alien woman in a city this size was madness. District 12 sprawled like a dying beast, its streets a maze of smugglers' dens, shadow markets, and broken machinery. But Darren wasn't thinking logically anymore. He guided Lyra through the rain, keeping her close, asking questions. Her mother's name was Celera. They had come seeking asylum, running from the syndicate. But Lyra didn't know which sector she'd been left in. As the hours dragged on, Darren searched. He bribed dock workers with the last of his credits. He checked old contacts from the shipyard, asked smugglers for whispers. Most spat at him, warning him to stay out of it. Humans who meddle in alien affairs. One scar dealer growled, and up in body bags. But Darren pressed on. Lyra's hand never left his. At dawn, they reached the lower transit hub. Lyra's energy was fading, her steps stumbling. Darren bought her a steaming cup of synth milk from a vendor, ignoring the stares. You're too kind, she murmured, sipping. He smiled faintly. Someone's got to be. That's when trouble found them. 3 figures emerged from the crowd, syndicate tattoos glowing faint red on their necks. Slavers. Hunters. Their eyes locked on Lyra like predators spotting prey. Darren's blood went cold. He knew what they wanted. A young Zarath child could fetch a fortune on the black market. Hand her over, human, the leader sneered, stepping closer. She's not your concern. Lyra pressed against Darren's side, trembling. He felt her tiny fingers clutch his jacket, and for reasons he couldn't explain, Darren didn't step aside. She's under my protection, he said, voice steady though his heart pounded. The men laughed. One drew a shock baton. You think you can stop us? Darren moved before he thought. Swinging a heavy wrench he'd snatched from the vendor's stall. The first thug crumpled. The second lunged, slashing his arm. Pain exploded, but Darren held his ground, fighting like a cornered animal. In the chaos, Lyra screamed. And then something strange happened. The air shimmered around her, a faint violet aura rippling outward. The thugs froze, eyes wide, as their weapon sparked and malfunctioned. Darren staggered back, stunned, as Lyra's glow pulsed stronger. The syndicate men cursed and fled into the crowd, too shaken to continue. Lyra collapsed against him, panting. I didn't mean... Darren knelt, clutching his bleeding arm, staring at her. He didn't know what had just happened, but it wasn't human. Hours later, they finally found her. Celera. She was hiding in a makeshift shelter beneath the East Docking Bridge, searching desperately through the crowds. When she spotted Lyra, her cry cut through the noise like music. Lyra. The girl tore from Darren's grasp, sprinting into her mother's arms. They clung to each other, sobbing, whispering words Darren couldn't understand but didn't need to. Celera looked up at him then, tall, regal despite exhaustion, her eyes burning with gratitude. You saved her. Darren tried to wave it off. She found me, really? No. Her voice was firm. You risked everything. For a child not your own. You must understand what that means to us. He didn't. Not yet. They tried to part ways after that. It should have ended there. Mother and daughter reunited, Darren returning to his gray life. But fate had other ideas. The syndicate had marked him. 2 nights later, Darren's apartment was ransacked. A message burned into his wall. You stole from us. We'll take it back. Word spread fast in District 12. The human who defied the syndicate, who sheltered the alien child. Some admired him. Others wanted him gone. And when Celera reappeared at his door, Lyra asleep in her arms, Darren knew he couldn't go back. They'll never stop, she warned. Not until Lyra is theirs. You are bound to us now, Darren Locke. He looked at Lyra's peaceful face, at the faint glow that flickered even in her dreams, at Solara's unyielding gaze, and he realized she was right. His life had changed the moment he reached out his hand in that rain-soaked alley. The following weeks blurred into survival. Darren found himself pulled into a hidden network of refugees, rebels, and smugglers fighting the syndicate's grip. Celera revealed more. Lyra was no ordinary child. She carried a dormant gift, an ancient Zerath ability thought long extinct. Her power could ignite hope for her people, or doom them if the syndicate gained control. That was why they hunted her. That was why Darren mattered now. Not as a mechanic, not as a bystander, but as a guardian. One night, as they prepared to move again, Lyra looked up at him. Darren, will you leave us? He knelt, ruffling her silver hair. Not a chance. Her small smile lit the darkness brighter than neon. Celera watched quietly from the shadows, then whispered, You've already chosen, haven't you? Darren didn't answer. He didn't need to. His life, his old, ordinary life, was gone. In its place was something far heavier, far brighter. A promise to protect Lyra, to stand beside Celera, to defy the syndicate, no matter the cost. And though he didn't know if he'd survive it, Darren Locke finally felt like he was living for the first time.